Tonight, another sign of the housing crisis.
We usually think about the people that we see on the street in an encampment on the sidewalk, but that's actually only the tip of the iceberg.
On the side of a highway.
I was working and then I suddenly lost work and I couldn't pay my rent anymore.
How commuter car parks are being used as a place to call home. Also, a Kitchener home destroyed by flames.
This is a nightmare that I want to wake up from.
And a family left picking up the pieces.
It was just like survival instincts trying to get out.
Why they're praising their pup for his heroic efforts. And serious sales slowdown.
We definitely hit a 15-year low when it comes in terms of sales.
The May market in Waterloo region.
Buyers are just being more selective. They're taking their time.
And why experts say sellers shouldn't panic. Good evening. You may have seen them from the 401 across Ontario. Highway carpool parking lots with a number of permanent residents. It's another sign of the housing crisis and people desperately looking for a place to live. Often these carpool lots offer a quiet place to live in peace. CTV's Jeff Pickle joins us live with more on this. Jeff, you visited one of those carpool lots in the region. What did you find out?
Well, Leanne, often when we speak of homelessness, people think of the highly visible encampments or people sleeping in tents, but experts tell us homelessness takes many forms and it's not one type of person who ends up in these situations. The people I spoke with in the commuter lots, they are looking for a quiet place to keep their heads down and get their lives back on track.
The carpool parking lot is not much.
My backyard of sorts, I guess.
But for nearly a year, it's been home for George and his girlfriend.
Well, I was working and then I suddenly lost work and I couldn't pay my rent anymore. So it actually just started off with me just staying in my truck.
George's story similar to so many others who find themselves without a home.
My girlfriend works landscaping and then snow removal in the winter, and I just work on cars. Yeah, we're hoping to save up into some money to get first and last.
While still working, they say finding a place to rent has not been possible. George says the isolation of the parking lot keeps them safe from unwanted conflict.
The last spot that I was at, the neighbors did. I mean, you see all my windows, they're all still broken from them slinging rocks with a slingshot.
Across the lot, Debbie's situation very similar.
Well, we came here because the rent got boosted up so high since the COVID.
With her husband working full-time, she says the trailer is a good temporary solution.
I'm a lot luckier than other people. They're in their tents and, you know, I got security of the cameras here, the lights. I got my generator for electricity. We can bath, we can shower, everything here. So it's a lot better than most places.
Those who park at the carpool parking lot say they don't mind and say they've seen George and his girlfriend working hard to keep the lot clean.
They constantly are picking up garbage. So yeah, it's good. It's not like there's no parking in the parking lot.
Both the OPP and the MTO say they are aware and monitoring the situation. Experts tell us this type of housing is more common than we may think.
We usually think about the people that we see on the street in an encampment on the sidewalk, but that's actually only the tip of the iceberg.
According to Day, it's the stability that makes this an attractive location.
A parking lot or something like that offers to people is a little bit of consistency and a little bit of stability where hopefully they're not being moved along every few days, and so they can kind of get settled and figure out what next steps are.
And while people like George and Deborah work towards a better situation,
there is some good people that is homeless too. Just every circumstance is out there. So there's really no other place to go for us. That's why we're here.
They are hopeful to remain where they are.
And we reached out to the OPP and MTO, and again, they seem generally aware that some people are living in the carpool lots, but it does not seem a high priority. And for those others we spoke with, they say it's not an ideal situation, but is one they can understand why it's occurring. Leanne?
Okay, Jeff, thank you for that. CTV's Jeff Pickle. Plenty of sunshine to start off the week. Let's take our first check on the forecast and head over to CTV's Ashley Bacon live in studio here. Ash, wow, gorgeous conditions out there, coming off a great weekend as well.
You know, we saw a little rain on Saturday, Leanne, but really by the afternoon on Saturday, things turned right back around and that sun was shining, leading into a gorgeous Sunday. And as you mentioned, a great start to this work week as well. The sun continuing to burn bright out there. It is hot today and will continue to be so for the next few days. But even though it is going to be hot, we are expecting a little bit of wet weather on the way. So as we take a look at our satellite radar, there isn't a lot going on right now. Over the next few hours, we're going to see more cloud cover moving through the region. And by tomorrow morning, that's when Mother Nature will bring with it some rain. Temperatures right now, though, Leanne, 25 degrees out there, an easterly wind at 17 kilometers an hour. And if we take a quick look at all of southern Ontario right now, it is a summer-like day. We got to remember, we're still in spring, Leanne. So summer-like conditions still throughout the most part of Ontario actually right now. It is going to continue to be warm, as I said, through to tomorrow, but with it some rain. But I'll have details on when that rain is going to hit and just how much is coming a little later in the show. Leanne.
Sounds good, Ash. Thanks very much. A Kitchener family is counting their blessings after a devastating fire destroyed their home and 3 vehicles, leaving them with not much more than the clothes on their backs. Now, about a week after the fire on Aaron Street West, they're sharing their story, including the family dog who they say saved their lives. CTV's Hannah Schmidt joins us live right outside the Kitchener home. Hannah, the damage there is pretty impossible to miss.
Yeah, that's right, Leanne. The family says they are looking to rebuild after losing nearly everything. And they also say that if it wasn't for their heroic efforts by their family dog, they may not be here to tell their story. Just before 2 a.m. on May 31st, fire tore through this Aaron's Street West home. Kitchener fire officials say the blaze started on the front porch and then quickly spread through the house.
I woke up to Duke waking me up, pulling my hair, and barking in my face, shaking uncontrollably, and I saw the fire on the front porch in front of my bedroom.
Within minutes, the fire intensified. Ellis says smoke detectors didn't sound until the flames spread inside.
This is a nightmare that I want to wake up from. Never in my wildest dreams that I thought this would ever happen.
Upstairs, family members were trapped.
The roommate, Terry, he started banging the door fire. So I woke up my mom, and then she tried going downstairs to open the door, but it was just too much smoke and fire. So we went back up and closed the door, and I opened the window and broke the screen. We jumped on that thing, and then the police officer helped us get down with his shoulders. After I got out the window, I just started crying.
Everyone escaped safely, including 4 dogs and 2 cats, but the family lost nearly everything.
Our memories, antiques, it's all gone.
3 vehicles were destroyed, and the home sustained extensive damage.
My aunt, she showed the pictures of the inside, and I was just surprised. It shocked me.
Now displaced and living in a hotel, the family is taking recovery one day at a time.
Are you having fun?
But Ellis says one thing remains clear.
If it wasn't for him waking me up, we would not be here today.
Looking back, Ellis believes Duke's actions made the difference between life and death.
She knew something was wrong, to wake me up. It would be a good thing to have smoke detectors outside on the front porch as well. That's a good thing to have now. That never thought of that before, but I'm certainly going to think about that now in the future.
Kitchener Fire says the blaze caused approximately $400,000 in damage. The cause remains under investigation. Leanne.
Okay, Hannah, thank you for that. CTV's Hannah Schmidt joining us live from Kitchener this hour. Thanks again. Hamilton police are asking for your help to identify a suspect connected to a suspicious fire in Stony Creek. Police released this image of the suspect. He's wanted in connection with a fire at a business on June 3rd. Police are asking anyone with information to come forward. And Barrie police are investigating after bones believed to be from a human were found near a local park. The bones were discovered on Friday in a park just outside of the city's downtown core. They've been sent to the Centre of Forensic Sciences in Toronto as investigators try to determine the cause of death and identify the person. Some areas around the park remain taped off as police continue to investigate. As the World Cup approaches, expect to be inundated with commercials from official FIFA sponsors. But as CTV's John Woodward tells us, there are guerrilla marketing campaigns trying to hitch a ride on the event's momentum, large and small.
Our screen will be in front of the mural.
Susan Puff is getting ready to turn this parking lot into a soccer watch party in a few days.
That will be on Friday with Team Canada, so we hope everybody comes and cheers them on.
The Broadview Danforth Business Improvement Association's poster says cheer on Team Canada, but there are some words you don't see.
We're not allowed to use those two words, and I can't even say them in this interview. So you will have to say them.
Okay, I'll say it. The words are World and Cup, trademarks that FIFA is jealously guarding because its sponsorship revenue is worth billions.
They're typically huge companies, first of all, because you have to remember a FIFA sponsorship at the highest level, let's say a Coca-Cola, for example, might be anywhere from $150 to $200 million.
But there are other businesses trying for publicity as well. Tim Hortons is just celebrating its soccer heritage. Canadian Airline Air Transat has poked fun at sky-high ticket prices, comparing them to actual flights. A campaign that's taken off, says creator Rafik Belmesk.
When there's a big event like this, it's important for brands to capitalize on some of the momentum that's happening on the field and some of the conversations that the fans are having.
Metrolink's offering a limited edition soccer Presto card. Vancouver's TransLink agency selling out of its soccer ball-shaped transit passes. And pot shop Cosmic Charlie's on Toronto's Queen Street West isn't selling a World Cup trophy bong. They're saying,
we have our championship bong.
How close can I fly to the sun without getting my wings burned off?
Trademark lawyer Mei Cheng says these efforts are often tongue-in-cheek, but cross the line and the cease and desist letters will come.
They're inviting trouble, if I can put it that way.
Well,
trouble Susan Puff wants to avoid.
We've been creative, we've got a great plan, and everybody's going to have fun.
She knows that even if the words World Cup aren't on the poster, the fans will understand. John Woodward, CTV News.
Due in part to the World Cup, Toronto is expecting a busy summer tourist season. CTV's Mike Walker has more on how the city is preparing for an influx of visitors.
World Cup fever has taken over Toronto as international fans are starting to arrive, including this group from Panama. What are you excited about?
See the old people play in peace.
6 matches are being held at Toronto Stadium between June 12th and July 2nd, with the city projecting more than 300,000 visitors, including Nathan Richardson from England.
20 years ago, I went to the World Cup in Germany with some friends, and I had such a great time. As a surprise, my family said, for my 60th birthday, let's go to Toronto.
He will be arriving with his family later this month and has tickets for FanFest. The trip, he says, costing $10,000.
It's just great fun. I mean, I like getting to know people from other countries, explore the city. We're going to do a day out to Niagara Falls.
The busy summer tourism season just kicking off with a number of events and festivals this month coinciding with the World Cup, including Pride that draws 3 million people, as well as concerts, the art festival Luminato, and more than a dozen home games remaining for the Blue Jays this month.
We're modeling currently that more than 50% of the ticket holders for each match in Toronto will be international visitors. And so we know that there's going to be an injection of spending into the local economy to explore the city, to check out some of our attractions, to eat at our restaurants.
Welcome to Union Station.
Duncan McNaughton is hoping to capitalize on the influx of tourists. He launched Savant Tours 3 weeks ago, which operates guided tours in Toronto and the Niagara region.
In terms of a new business entering the market, both to the Niagara region as well as Toronto, it's definitely the kind of support and added amount of visitors that we can use to get us going.
It's with him we met this couple from Pennsylvania who are in town for the Blue Jays series against the Phillies.
Being my first time here, it's about 20 stadiums I've been to so far.
And are hoping to take in all the sights and culture.
This is a bustling urban area that's got so much to offer. We're so excited to experience it.
Sports Illustrated has ranked Toronto the third best of 16 host cities for the World Cup, citing the stadium's proximity to the downtown and the city's multiculturalism. With worldwide attention, Destination Toronto sees this as a generational opportunity to bolster tourism for the long run. Mike Walker, CTV News.
Still ahead on CTV News, why is boating suddenly banned in Kitchener's Victoria Park Lake? New signs go up, leaving longtime paddlers confused. What led to the change, and could the decision be reversed? Karis Mapp has the details after the break.
I'm Colton Weens in Cambridge, where protesters marched here to City Hall today calling for change in the city government after the mayor interrupted a speaker at a Pride event last week. That story is just ahead.
Another warm night ahead is expected, but so is rain. Just how much will we see tomorrow and the rest of the week? I'll break that down with your full weather forecast coming up.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVKitchener.ca, your home for news.
A crowd of protesters marched through Cambridge this afternoon, ending their walk at City Hall and voicing their concerns over Mayor Jan Liggett's behavior during last week's Pride flag raising event at City Hall. That is where we find CTV's Colton Weens this hour. Colton, this stems from the mayor cutting off a 17-year-old during their speech last week as they were talking about the negativity they've dealt with as a member of the 2S LGBTQIA+ community.
That's right, Leanne. The city had asked Sophie Mills to speak at the event, but they were interrupted when they began criticizing Councillor Adam Cooper for sharing a transphobic meme last year. Now, on Friday, the mayor released a statement saying she made a mistake and wasn't trying to silence the speaker, but instead was trying to prevent personal attacks. Today, a crowd of Pride supporters gathered in downtown, marching to City Hall, trying to raise awareness about what happened and the rights to freedom of speech and expression, all while chanting, "See us, hear us." And this time, Mills made the whole speech uninterrupted out front of City Hall, while Mills says the mayor has not reached out to them since the original event.
I would like a personal apology. That would be good, and then a public apology to show the community, but important that it's both. I hope that people in the community can see that they're not alone and that other people feel this way and other people want to support everybody like this. But I also hope that powers show that they are able to see that we are not going to back down.
Jan took away somebody's freedom of expression. It's protected by the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. She silenced someone, and as mayor, that's despicable. I am hoping that the Integrity Commissioner will investigate this, and I'm sure that his findings will sort of bring some justice to this. I'm also hoping that the city will actually hear us and hear that what has been going on at City Hall has not been enough, and sit down with organizations and have them and ourselves help create a better way forward.
Now, CTV reached out to the mayor's office today for an interview, but just received a one-line statement. Liggett saying she respects people's right to gather. Leanne.
CTV's Colton Weens joining us live from Cambridge this hour. Colton, thank you. New signs are up in Kitchener's Victoria Park prohibiting any recreational use of the water. The new ban was a shock to many, including an avid canoeer who is planning to go out for a paddle this morning. CTV's Karis Mapp has the story.
Anyone who's visited Victoria Park may have seen Matt Morris paddling the water in his canoe.
That gentleman was doing a phenomenal job, and it's quiet, and he could scour the waters for us.
Morris has been canoeing the man-made lake in the Kitchener Park for years now.
Back in about 2021, I think it was, I was walking around Victoria Park and I saw the signs. It looked like boating was allowed. No fishing, no swimming, of course, but boating was allowed.
5 years later, and his planned Monday morning paddle came with a surprise.
I've been out 25 times already this summer, and this was my 26th. I was ready to go, and I got a message this morning from a friend who I know from Victoria Park, and it was a picture of a new sign that said many activities, including canoeing or boating, recreational boating, was banned in the park.
A statement from the City of Kitchener says the lake is part of the city's municipal stormwater system with regulatory requirements as a stormwater facility, and the signage was updated to align with those across all Kitchener stormwater facilities, adding that staff will review the current status of boating in the park and determine how it can be safely reinstated. Longtime park goers remember when boats were a common sight in the water.
I used to skate on it when I was really young. I've seen the gondolas, I've seen all the boats going, and it's sad not to see it.
There are big upgrades planned for Victoria Park over the next decade. Morris says he attended one of the public consultation meetings in regard to the plan and talked about the use of the waterway in hopes of eventually expanding activity opportunities.
They've come up with a beautiful plan, but somehow this part never got recognized in the plan. So for me to come down and see the sign was a bit of a shock and certainly sadness, because I have been advocating for years to bring the rentals back.
He's not the only one hoping to see more activity back in the water.
I'd like to see the paddle boats back, not in huge numbers, because it is serenity in the park, but there's no reason why they couldn't allow it for certain events or certain things, certain days, certain times.
Staff's review of boating in the park is expected to be completed by the end of the month. Karis Mapp, CTV News, Kitchener.
Researchers at the University of Waterloo are hoping to lighten the load for healthcare workers by developing an alternative to heavy lead aprons technicians and patients wear during x-rays. As CTV's Heather Centerin tells us, a lightweight apron could save technicians from chronic pain.
If you've ever had an x-ray, you've probably felt it. Those protective lead aprons that really weigh you down, but you usually only wear it for mere moments. Now imagine wearing one all day. It's a painful reality for some x-ray technicians.
Many of them are forced to retire early because of the weight and the weight of the lead apron they wear, and the pain it causes, mainly back pain.
That's why this chemical engineering professor at the University of Waterloo and a PhD student wanted to come up with a solution, a lightweight alternative.
It looks like a flexible apron compared to a metal lead stiff apron. It's very lightweight. It's 1/10 of the weight of a lead apron. The particle geometry.
This is a sample of the material the team developed. But it took a lot of trial and error and experimenting with different lead alternatives before they landed on a special metal called tungsten.
This yellow thing is the nanoparticles, the tungsten nanoparticles.
It goes through a lot of phases before it can be turned into a material that will eventually be an apron.
The tungsten oxide, we are synthesizing using co-precipitation technique,
including being washed and dried in an oven.
And it's incorporated into a silicon-based polymer or plastic, and it can be shaped into the apron we're looking for.
Now that they have the science of it all figured out, the next step would be to scale up and develop a prototype so it can be used commercially. But the team says it might take some time.
The next question would be the cost, right? It has to have a reasonable cost for it to be adopted by hospitals as well as clinics. So we will not know that until we reach a stage where we start manufacturing it. So those factors will determine how quickly we can get to the market.
They're already looking into the future and say this material can be used for other shielding applications, like protection from gamma radiation.
Those are another kind of radiations with even more energy than X-rays. So usually you can have gamma rays in nuclear facilities, for example.
Providing radiation protection without the heavy burden. Heather Centerin, CTV News, Waterloo.
Feeling and looking a lot like summer out there. Wow, what a gorgeous shot of the sun preparing to set in a couple of hours. You still got time to get out and enjoy it while you can. We're going to find out when rain will roll in when Ashley joins us with the full forecast coming up. Also ahead. From Supreme Court Justice to Governor General, Louise Arbour is sworn in at a ceremony in Ottawa today. And the Canadian government's offer to airlines dealing with high fuel costs. How a pandemic-era aid package is being revived in hopes of stabilizing the industry ahead of the summer travel season. Well, Ash, we've been talking about it all day. So nice that we've had this amazing stretch of gorgeous spring weather that's feeling way more like summer.
Absolutely. We've had a really dry spell the last few days as well, or weeks, I should say. We had a bit of rain, of course, on Saturday, and we will see a little bit more rain through this week. But we got to remember we're still in spring, Leanne, and this is really when it should rain before we get into the thick of summer and things really start to dry out.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely need that rain because it has been feeling hot out there.
And speaking of feeling hot, you know, you should cool down on a hot day is a water park.
Yeah.
Look at these guys enjoying the beautiful evening we are having Bright Up Park in Kitchener. Dave Pettit, our camera operator, bringing us this beautiful shot this afternoon, and I hope these guys are having the best time. Leanne, what do you think? Maybe we should skip the rest of the show and go have a water fight at the park.
You know what? That is the place to be cooling off.
Oh man, last week we had ice cream. This week we might have to have a water fight. This looks like a lot of fun, and you know what? I'm here for it. I am a summer person, as you all know by now, and I am super excited to say that temperatures are going to remain hot the rest of the week. But with it, we will see a little rain. So get out and enjoy this afternoon while you can as we turn our attention to the futurecast. We're going to start to see a little bit of cloud cover through the overnight hours. We might see a spotty shower, potentially an overnight storm here and there. Tomorrow, though, that's when things really pick up pace. We will get rain on and off through the morning hours and then into the afternoon, where once again we might see a risk of a thunderstorm throughout the afternoon hours as well. So we will definitely have a wet Tuesday and Wednesday ahead. Right now, though, across the country, things are looking very spring-like. Cooler temperatures on the west coast than we saw last week. 17 in Vancouver, 14 in rain in Victoria. On the other side of the Rockies, a little warmer, 19 for both Edmonton and Calgary. As we push further east through the prairie provinces, Regina, a very nice day, 21 degrees and sunshine, 26 in Winnipeg and sunshine, a beautiful day through Manitoba. As we push further east towards our nation's capital, not bad. Definitely warmer through Ontario and Quebec this hour, 26 in Montreal and Ottawa, as well as Quebec City. So very nice conditions there. And on the east coast, it's just 5 in St. John's and a bit of rain, so a little cooler there, but the rest of the east coast looking pretty nice. 14 in Charlottetown, 23 in Fredericton, and 16 in Halifax. As we focus our attention closer to home, nice day still out there. 25 degrees in Waterloo region, perfect for water park activities. 28 in Windsor as well as London. Overnight temperatures dipping down to around 13 degrees, so it won't be too warm, won't be too cold, depending on how you like to sleep. Maybe windows open with a little rain, not too bad. Tomorrow, between 10 and 20 millimeters expected, a southerly wind of 20 kilometers an hour. Now, by Wednesday, we could see around 35 millimeters of rain by Wednesday afternoon. So it is going to continue into your Wednesday and then further through the week. As we take a closer look at our 7-day forecast, you can see that rain continues throughout the week, Leanne, but with it, the nice temperatures lasting and only just partial. So we won't have consistent rain. We will see the sun on and off. It's just going to be present this week. In Lambton, Kent, Essex, almost missed you there in the Windsor area, 29 with a risk of a thunderstorm for your Tuesday, 31 for both Wednesday and Thursday. And lastly, in southern Georgian Bay, a very nice week ahead, but wet. We will see rain from tomorrow onwards to the weekend. 27 for your Tuesday with the chance of a thunderstorm, and 26 for Wednesday. Okay, let's take a look at today's Weather Watcher picture sent in from Shelley, who snapped this deer in her yard, maybe snacking on her garden. They've got to tune into our Get Growing segments to learn how to keep the deer away, Leanne.
Yeah, you know what is so funny that we have this as our Weather Watcher picture. This morning at the gym, a few of the girls there were showing photos of the deer that have been in their backyard. And, you know, the deer, they're not afraid. They're just kind of coming up and saying hi and letting us know they're there.
Well, it's been so beautiful, and we did have a wet start to spring. So with the drier conditions we've seen the last few days, things are growing. So hopefully they're getting a nice snack along the way.
And hey, they're pretty cute too.
They're very cute.
All right, Ash, thanks.
Thank you.
A day for pomp and circumstance in Ottawa as a champion for human rights. Former Supreme Court Justice Louise Arbour takes over the role of Governor General. CTV's Mike LeCouture now on the swearing-in ceremony for Canada's 31st Viceroy.
Ushered into the Senate by an honor guard, Louise Arbour took her first steps into Canadian history as Canada's 31st Governor General. The former Supreme Court Justice will be tasked with being a symbol of unity and a guardian of constitutional order.
These duties call for sound judgment, deep learning, and an unwavering commitment to the rule of law.
Carney added those are the same principles on which Arbour built her long career.
It is through our differences that we will build a common future.
In a wide-ranging 20-minute speech, Canada's new Governor General celebrated the country's diversity and differences, saying that is how people will build a common future.
Extreme polarization is dangerous, but so is extreme consensus. It is through our differences and our fundamental right to express them that we will nourish critical thinking, creativity, and innovation.
A message that resonated with other dignitaries who attended the ceremony.
She stands for human rights, she stands for justice, she stands for equality, and she laid that all out.
While taking over from Canada's first Indigenous Governor General, Mary Simon, Arbour underlined the importance of reconciliation.
I'm looking forward to working with her in her new capacity, but I know that we are in good stead.
While her message was one of unity and a call to lead on the global stage, Arbour also injected a hint of patriotic humor.
We don't think we are perfect, but we believe we're pretty well on the way there.
Arbour also noted the progress made by the armed forces without mentioning her damning 2022 report on sexual misconduct in the military. She'll now be the figurehead of the institution as the Commander-in-Chief of Canada. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
May was a slow month for home sales in Waterloo Region. Still ahead, Spencer Turcotte finds out what's being blamed and what buyers and sellers should expect going forward. Waterloo Region's housing market hit a major slowdown last month. New figures show that it was one of the slowest Mays for home sales in 15 years. CTV's Spencer Turcotte breaks it all down for us.
So basically, this is the kitchen.
Standing in the middle of this 5,000 square foot luxury home in Kitchener, developer Soren Serdukin says buyers are less willing to pull the trigger on all types of homes.
We are in the bottom right now.
He's been building and selling homes in Waterloo Region for more than 20 years. He says the slowdown has been building for some time.
Well, for the last 3 years, for sure, was declining.
Data from the Cornerstone Association of Realtors shows home sales in Waterloo Region were well below historical averages.
May was one of the slowest Mays we've had on record in the last 15 years.
But realtors aren't sounding any alarms.
In the last 15 years were extraordinary. We were doing 120 kilometers on the highway. Heck, even at some points we're doing 200 kilometers. And right now, I'd say we're doing about 80.
Experts say buyers haven't disappeared. They're simply taking longer to make decisions.
I was out just doing showings right now, but you can see buyers are being very, very selective.
And sellers are having to adjust.
Well, usually we keep it for a good year and then we adjust the price again.
Detached homes have seen modest price declines, while condos and townhomes have taken a bigger hit.
When you're looking at, townhouses and condos, they definitely plummeted around that 15 to 16% compared to last May.
One factor weighing on sales is slower population growth in the region, which was nearly flat last year. Even so, sales did improve slightly from April to May. So after years of bidding wars and soaring prices, Waterloo Region's housing market appears to be finally catching its breath. Spencer Turcotte, CTV News Kitchener.
Okay, let's update our top stories with CTV's Krista Simpson live in studio with us. Krista, we begin with a look at yet another example of how challenging it is for some to find an affordable place to live right now.
Leanne, our reporter Jeff Pickle visited a...
Is Krista's mic not on? Do we have Krista's mic up?
We are having a few technical difficulties here, but we do have more stories over on our website as well, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Krista, thanks again. Okay, we apologize for that. With the fragile ceasefire in the Middle East, the markets have remained steady. But as oil and gas prices continue to fluctuate, Ottawa has announced a program to help the airlines cope with high fuel prices. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver takes us through the relief package and how it will work.
Ahead of a busy travel season, the federal government is offering airlines a boost to help offset the impact of turbulent oil prices.
This is an important step, an important signal from the federal government that they are watching this situation closely and that they're willing to put some money on the table to prevent difficulties from taking place in the Canadian airline industry.
Experts say domestic ticket prices in Canada have gone up at least 15% since the war in Iran began. In late April, U.S. Gulf Coast jet fuel hit $4.34 USD a gallon. Now it's fallen to around $3.50 a gallon, still well above the pre-war price, where it hovered around $2.
It will take some time for things to go back to normal. Even if the Strait of Hormuz reopens this month, it's going to take time for ships to travel back to it and then the oil from the Middle East to hit global markets.
The Finance Department says that's why they're offering airlines up to $150 million in repayable loans to provide stability and to ensure continued reliable flight access for Canadian air travelers.
The marketplace will drive airline behavior. This strategy of $150 million with strings attached is not going to be enough to drive the airline behavior.
The Conservatives, though, doubt this plan that, similar to what Ottawa offered airlines during the pandemic, will help passengers.
The consumer is never the one that gets the benefit from any of these government bailouts. They are not fixing the crux of the problem.
Airlines who choose to apply for these loans will have to agree to limit executive compensation and to maintain Canadian operations. But the exact details, according to finance officials, will be up for negotiation. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
A number of Canadians were among Broadway's best this year. Still ahead on CTV News, who took home the hardware at the Tony Awards Sunday night. The 79th annual Tony Awards were handed out last night, and several Canadians took home prizes. CTV's Andrea Case looks back at the night's big winners.
The 79th annual Tony Awards were very good to Canadians on Sunday night.
Ladies with parasol.
Casey Levy. Hamilton native, 20-year theatre veteran, and first-time Tony nominee, Casey Levy won the prize as Best Actress in a Leading Role in a Musical as Mother in Ragtime, a first for a Canadian.
I grew up in Canada, watching the Tonys and dreaming of a life on Broadway.
She thanked her husband, who she had trouble finding in the audience.
And every babysitter who's made it possible for me to be both a Broadway actor and a mother.
Ragtime won 4 awards, including Best Revival of a Musical.
Excuse me, sorry, we didn't buy tickets. You are getting no money from us.
Just let him sing.
Now 2-time Tony winner Lorne Michaels, the creator of Saturday Night Live, helped take a canceled Apple TV show and bring it to the Broadway stage. Schmigadoon won 4 awards, including the night's most coveted Best Musical.
We're really grateful for this, and it means everything. Sometimes singing, dancing, a lot of jokes, and a happy ending is really all you need. Thank you.
Nominated for 4 Tony Awards, Titanic, a musical featuring the music of Celine Dion about the Titanic if Dion was in fact on the ill-fated ship, co-stars Scarborough's Deborah Cox as the unsinkable Molly Brown. And Ali Louis Borski of the Lost Boys is Muslim of Moroccan, Italian, and Irish descent. In part, he dedicated his acceptance speech to immigrant families.
For the people of Palestine who deserve to live a free life, a full life without occupation. For Arab theater makers and artists, may we continue to tell our stories and show our faces so our humanity becomes undeniable and our families can no longer be written off as merely collateral damage. May they know the beauty of our kisses upon each cheek and the romance of a language rooted in passion for love and life itself.
Andrea Case, CTV News.
We have more news ahead. First, let's check in with Ashley.
Well, we know rain is on the way for tomorrow, but what will tomorrow morning look like? What we're waking up with? Those details just ahead. Stay with us. Coming up tonight on CTV, start your night with E-Talk, followed by The Big Bang Theory, then the quiz with balls at 8, and cap your night off with American Ninja Warrior at 9.
Pierre Poilievre campaigns against Alberta separation.
We need different government policies in Ottawa.
What the Conservative leader specifically said needs to change. Later on CTV National News and watch on Crave.
KW's Bounce 99.5 has the music you just can't quit. Listen all summer for your chance to win. Turn the lights off, carry me home. With Bounce to your backyard.
Okay, let's check back in with Krista for a look at what our team is working on as we head into the evening. Krista.
Well, Leanne, we'll have more from the demonstration at Cambridge City Hall this evening as people gathered to show their frustration and call for the mayor to resign after she interrupted a young speaker at the city's Pride flag raising event last week. Also, police are investigating in Norwich after a flagpole outside a school was cut down and a Pride flag stolen there. We'll have more on that tonight at 11:30. Leanne.
Okay, Krista, thanks very much. And one last check on the forecast with Ash. And you know what? We have been talking about how we probably likely need a little bit of rain. I know you and I have been enjoying this beautiful stretch of weather, but we're due.
Absolutely. And, you know, it is the rainy season. Spring is when we should see showers, and we really haven't in the last 10 days or so, with the exception of the bit of rain on Saturday. But we will be waking up to some. We should see some overnight showers as well. But really by 8 a.m., that's when things pick up. We will see some more wet weather coming through.
So you're telling me I need to get up early and get that walk in a little bit earlier tomorrow morning. I know you're up in that block.
It would be recommended, yes. It would definitely be recommended.
All right, we'll get to bed early, set the alarm.
Yeah.
Okay, finally for us tonight, 18 months overseas sparked a new business idea for a Stratford woman.
CTV's Scott Miller has more on the Festival City's newest thing to do for tourists.
On this site here used to stand our old post office.
Lori Leduc is offering visitors to Stratford something different this summer.
I offer a guided walking tour of downtown Stratford, pointing out some of our local buildings, our unique architecture, and also telling stories about the people, places, and events that shaped the past.
Leduc has spent much of her life in Stratford and area, but after recently spending 18 months in the United Kingdom, she returned to the area with an idea that the tourist-heavy region might be missing something.
There was a bit of a gap. We had great audio tours, we had maps, but nothing about an in-person guide to take you around. And when I travel, that's what I like to do, so I decided to embark on that.
History is right up Leduc's alley with her Master of Arts degree in Public History. Stratford Festival's epic history in the city is obviously front and center in her tours, as is its most famous native son, Justin Bieber. But Leduc does focus on many different parts of Stratford's past that tourists and locals alike might be unaware of.
I point out an interesting tree that we have growing in front of the Perth County Courthouse. It's a royal oak tree given to us by King George VI back in 1937. So coming up to be 90 years of age soon. So a neat little connection to the king and the royal family. I started a women's history tour. That's something new this summer. So I'm always trying to find new topics and new interesting information.
Leduc's Stratford walking tours also has a nighttime ghost walking tour along with a river tour, something for everyone, whether longtime resident or first-time visitor to the Festival City, which sees upwards of 600,000 tourists each and every year.
In the summertime, during the height of the festival, I get the tourists who are visiting Stratford, but I get the locals as well. They come out, maybe want to entertain some family and friends, will bring out their guests, but also I do ghost tours, and those are very popular with the locals.
In Stratford, Scott Miller, CTV News.
I love when we're highlighting communities in and around southwestern Ontario because there's so much good summer tourist action happening.
I feel like it comes alive in the air. I know winter is wonderful and everything, but it comes alive in so many ways. It's not just a spring bloom, but there's so many different things to do. I don't know if you were paying attention, Leanne, but she said she does ghost tours. Would you be down for a ghost tour?
I was thinking right away when she said ghost tours, Ashley Bacon, that's written all over that.
No way. I'm a big scaredy cat. I don't know what she's talking about. I don't know if I could handle a ghost tour.
I think you would love it.
Maybe.
I think we should do it. Why not? Try something new.
What do you guys think? Should we do a segment, Leanne and I, on a ghost tour? Maybe we could do a haunted house when Halloween comes around.
I think we could do that. We would have a lot of fun with it. For now, we'll focus on all the good summer things going on.
Absolutely.
And maybe a trip down to Stratford.
I think that is definitely on the cards at least a couple of times for the next few months, for sure.
On our list.
Yes.
We'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.